Tonight, report on the body found in Moses Lake and the explosions of color in Ephrata. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Quincy captures his first state soccer championship, and local athletes perform well at the state track and field meet. Stay tuned and I'll fill you in on all the details. Here's a peek at our Weather Center forecast.
And our forecast coming up later in the newscast calls for a very tranquil pattern, above normal temperatures continuing, and not much chance for any precipitation. All the details coming up.
I'm Alan Troop, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Boaters discovered what appears to be the body of Benjamin Patino Nunez in Moses Lake Saturday afternoon. According to Moses Lake Police, the clothing and physical appearance seemed to match Nunez, a 25-year-old Quincy man. Nunez has been missing since May 25th, when he reportedly fled from police by jumping into the lake. Moses Lake Police stopped a Toyota pickup on North Stratford Road near the intersection with Knowles Vista Drive. As the officer was taking Nunez into custody for allegedly driving under the influence, he fled toward the lake. According to Moses Lake Police, Nunez was not handcuffed when he fled police. A fun run caused an explosion of color in Ephrata this weekend. Reporter Vivian Huang has the story.
A swarm of white shirts and tutus served as blank canvases at Patrick Park in Ephrata for the first ever Dash of Color 5K run on Saturday. Hosted by Columbia Basin Hospital, the race included 4 color blasting zones along the route as participants rushed to the finish line.
For me personally, it was nuts, but for everybody else, I've heard nothing but great things, and everybody has said that they wanted to see it again and do it again, so I think everything went really well, and I'm really pleased.
Lodi said the event was inspired by similar races that are popular in more metropolitan cities. All proceeds benefit Columbia Basin Hospital.
No, we have our remodeling pretty much done for. We got a bond back, I think 2010 or 2011, and it'll probably go to some equipment. I'm not really sure. We haven't really discussed where the money should go to, but you know, we've got a few areas of need and some equipment needs and that kind of stuff, so that's what it usually will go to.
Lodi hopes to make the Dash of Color an annual event.
Thank you everyone who participated and who helped out and who gave suggestions, any of that kind of stuff. It's greatly appreciated. We couldn't have done it without you.
For iFIBER 1 News, this is Vivian Huang.
Thanks, Vivian. A 26-year-old male witness chased a man he saw jump out of a car after it struck 2 cars parked on Division Street in Moses Lake on Friday night. The driver reportedly exited the 2001 Cadillac Seville and left it disabled in the street as he ran, according to police records. The witness chased him and caught the driver near Grant Street, holding him for police. Pablo Fidelio, a 23-year-old Moses Lake resident, was arrested for hit and run and DUI. Kids in Moses Lake were treated to fishing on the weekend. Here's the story.
Hundreds of fish were flying out of Cascade Park Saturday morning for the Moses Lake Park and Recreation Kids Fishing event.
Everybody kind of comes together. It's a great event. You know, you get a whole bunch of kids down here. This year, our numbers are down for some reason. We always are conflicting something during the spring weekends, whether it be graduation or triathlon or whatever. And some years have been higher, some years have been lower as far as our numbers go. So this year we've got 1,500 fish out there that are guaranteed to be cooperative. The guys that brought them in, we brought them in yesterday, put nets out on the lake, as you can see behind me, put a couple areas out on the dock where we can stock the fish, and then we stock the 1,500 fish by bucket, threw them on out there.
While fishing derbies are common in Moses Lake, Haru said this event is just for the kids.
The Moses Lake Irrigation District does an actual fishing derby earlier in the year, held out at Conley Park, where they actually have competitions, you know, and they'll stock some bigger trout. For us, it's just about kids catching fish. It's not competitive. Although the one year when my son was 8 and the 4-year-old girl next to him caught a 24-inch fish, he was a little jealous and a little ticked off about that. He didn't think that was fair at all. But for the most part, it's all about kids coming down and actually catching a fish. So it's the first one that we really do in the spring that is really geared towards kids. So it's a really cool program. It's a lot of fun. If you stick around, you'll see a lot of screaming little kids out here catching their first fish, and it's very entertaining to watch. So.
For iFIBER 1 News, this is Vivian Huang.
Now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grand County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
And we'll be right back after this.